The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was officially established in 1887 by three influential figures in the British occult scene: Dr. William Wynne Westcott, Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mathers, and William Robert Woodman. These men were not only Freemasons, but also deeply involved in esoteric and mystical studies, including Hermeticism, alchemy, and Kabbalah. The founding of the Golden Dawn was rooted in the discovery of the Cipher Manuscripts, mysterious coded documents that outlined a complex system of ritual magic and initiatory practices. The manuscripts, which purportedly came from a European Rosicrucian source, provided the foundation for the structure and rituals of the order. Combining various mystical traditions, the Golden Dawn drew from Hermetic philosophy, alchemical symbolism, Christian mysticism, ancient Egyptian lore, and Renaissance-era ceremonial magic. Its goal was to teach the individual how to access hidden knowledge and spiritual power, focusing on personal transformation through esoteric wisdom. The Golden Dawn was organized into a rigorous initiatory system that members would advance through, akin to a spiritual ladder of ascent. This structure was closely tied to the Kabbalistic tree of life, with each grade representing a step toward higher spiritual awareness. The hierarchy consisted of three main levels. The Outer Order, First Order, comprised the first 5 grades, where members were introduced to the foundational elements of occultism. These grades focused on subjects like astrology, tarot, alchemy, and ritual magic. Students were taught to develop their willpower, intuition, and psychic abilities while undergoing rigorous symbolic initiations. The Second Order, Inner Order, known as the Rosae Rubeae et Aureae Crucis, this level was accessible only to those who had completed the Outer Order's requirements. It introduced more advanced magical practices, such as invoking spirits, creating magical tools, and performing complex astral work. Members were tasked with studying the deeper mysteries of Hermetic Kabbalah and working toward mastery of ceremonial magic. The Third Order. This level was shrouded in mystery and only accessible to the most highly initiated. Members of the Third Order were believed to be in contact with the secret chiefs, spiritual beings or enlightened masters who were thought to guide the order from a higher plane of existence. The nature of the Third Order remains speculative, with some believing it represented the highest spiritual attainment, while others viewed it as a symbolic or mythological concept. The rituals of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn were designed to facilitate spiritual enlightenment and personal transformation through the use of ceremonial magic. Each ritual was meticulously structured, drawing on a wide range of esoteric symbols and magical correspondences. Some of the most important rituals included the Neophyte Initiation Ceremony. This ritual marked the initiate's formal entry into the Golden Dawn. It involved a symbolic death and rebirth, where the candidate underwent a process of purification and was reborn as a seeker of wisdom. The ceremony was filled with elaborate symbolism, including the use of the 4 classical elements, earth, water, air, and fire, as representations of the material and spiritual worlds. The Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. One of the most famous rituals developed by the Golden Dawn, the LBRP was a protective rite used to cleanse and purify the space around the practitioner. By tracing pentagrams in the air and invoking divine names, the magician banished negative energies and established a sacred boundary. This ritual remains a staple in modern ceremonial magic and is widely practiced by occultists today. The Middle Pillar Ritual focused on aligning the practitioner's energy centers, similar to chakras. This ritual aimed to balance the individual's internal forces and connect them with the divine. By visualizing the flow of light and energy through the body, the magician sought to channel spiritual power and attain higher states of consciousness. Enochian magic. The order also explored Enochian magic, a complex system of angelic communication developed by the Elizabethan scholar and magician John Dee. Enochian magic involved summoning angelic beings through the use of specially designed symbols and invocations, aiming to gain divine knowledge and spiritual guidance. These rituals were highly ceremonial, often requiring the use of specific magical tools such as wands, swords, chalices, and pentagrams. The rituals also emphasized visualization, symbolism, and spoken invocations, all designed to bring the practitioner into contact with higher spiritual forces. The Golden Dawn's influence on modern occultism cannot be overstated. Its teachings laid the groundwork for much of the contemporary Western esoteric tradition, and its rituals are still practiced today by various occultists and magical orders. Perhaps the most famous member of the Golden Dawn was Aleister Crowley, who would later go on to establish his own spiritual philosophy, Thelema, which was heavily influenced by the Golden Dawn's teachings. Crowley's interpretation of ceremonial magic, as well as his incorporation of elements like Hermetic Kabbalah and Tarot, can be traced directly back to his time in the order. The Golden Dawn also had a lasting impact on the development of Wicca and modern witchcraft. The Order's rituals, particularly the LBRP, and the use of ceremonial tools, were incorporated into the practices of later occultists like Gerald Gardner, the founder of Wicca. Dion Fortune, another prominent occultist, also drew on the Golden Dawn's teachings in her work on psychic development and spiritual healing. Beyond individual practitioners, the Golden Dawn's philosophy helped popularize the idea of personal spiritual ascension through ritual magic, influencing not just occultism, but broader New Age movements and even the emergence of modern spirituality. Concepts such as the use of sacred geometry, the Kabbalistic tree of life, and the invocation of divine forces became standard features of esoteric practice. Despite its profound influence, the Golden Dawn was plagued by internal strife, which ultimately led to its fragmentation. By 1900, disputes over leadership and doctrinal differences caused a major schism within the order. Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers, one of the primary leaders, found himself at odds with other prominent members, such as the poet William Butler Yeats. The conflict caused the original order to split into rival factions, each claiming to preserve the true teachings of the Golden Dawn. Despite this fragmentation, the order's legacy lived on. Several successor groups emerged, carrying forward the rituals, teachings, and initiatory structure of the Golden Dawn. In the 20th century, groups like the Stella Matutina and Alpha et Omega continued the tradition, while many independent occultists adopted and adapted Golden Dawn practices for their own use. Today, the Golden Dawn's impact can be seen in a wide range of occult traditions, from ceremonial magic and Thelema to modern-day Wicca and neo-paganism. Its emphasis on personal transformation through ritual, its integration of multiple mystical traditions, and its structured approach to magical practice make it a foundational influence in Western esotericism. Books, tarot decks, and ritual guides inspired by the Golden Dawn's teachings remain in use, ensuring that the order's influence endures in both scholarly and practical occult circles. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was one of the most significant and influential occult organizations of the 19th and 20th centuries. Its synthesis of magical traditions, coupled with its focus on personal spiritual development, left a profound legacy on modern occultism. Through its rituals, hierarchical structure, and its profound influence on later occultists, the Golden Dawn established itself as a central force in the Western esoteric tradition, shaping the practice of ceremonial magic and mystical study for generations to come.